This is the full auto Hall Trials top 5% setup. We're currently rank 4, but this is probably not holding. We have Aubade Ludwig, Elena, Aki, and Aria. So to start things off, let's talk about the replacement heroes as usual. Aubade Ludwig is the resident hero. If you don't have him, you just go down the list. You go Ludwig, Bellona, Leo, Celeste. And then for Elena, I like her because on auto, she helps a lot with getting through the first phase because she always attacks. Tamarin is also usable. I just think she's kind of annoying because she spams so many non-attacks, like I guess all healers really do. Anyways, besides that, we have Aki. This slot, so we have Aria here, and this means that we have Aki as the primary debuffer. You want a unit that has 3 debuffs. Notably, usually bosses are immune to Death Break. She's not immune to Death Break because she's immune like outside of her pre-break phase mechanic. So Aki has 2 burns and Death Break on his S3. That is 3 debuffs. Pretty sick. Besides that, you have Clarissa and Haste, but both of those need Weakening set in order to increase their last odd to 100%. Or you can just say I don't care and send it in without the Weakening set and pray that you land the Death Break both times, which should end up being, if it's like 85% each, then it's about like a 72% chance to clear, which isn't that bad. And then you have Surin, Red Surin. She has 2 to 4 debuffs on her S2, a little bit RNG, but you could just send it until it clears. She's basically the free-to-play option. And then we have Aria in the last slot. So Aria is here because her S3, the stealth mechanic, this fight was also partially designed around her. She gives everybody stealth, and then that makes the boss take more damage. You can't really replace her for damage, but if you don't care about your damage, then you can drop Aria, run 2 debuffers, which makes your little debuff slot a bit more flexible. Just make sure that they take their turns in time, because Yufine does refresh the debuff count every time she takes a turn. So let's go ahead and take a look at their stats. So first up is Aubade Ludwig. You pretty much just make him full damage. You auto crit, so attack, crit damage, you don't need crit chance, and we give him Cruel Mischief as the artifact. I will note that usually speed isn't that useful. I have him at 127 speed. It's actually like a specific speed tuning, so try to get his speed to this or see what works for you. You might find yourself needing a little bit of bulk. I think I have like no bulk and it's okay, but if you're having issues, then maybe give him some bulk. Next up is Aria. I have her super tanky. We have her in the front slot taking all of our damage because her stats kind of, like, she doesn't need high speed or like damage or anything. I do have her 144 speed for speed tuning purposes. This is with my 127 Ludwig. And then besides it, just give her a ton of HP and some defense. Now her E doesn't really matter. I think the S1 damage one, I guess, is technically best in slot. And then I'm using Warhorn on her for the extra attack. Next up is Elena, 192 speed tuning. And then besides that, her stats don't really matter too much. I just gave her some bulk. Do not use the -1 turn cooldown EE, because her S2 is sealed during this fight, so it's useless, but this actually griefs you too, so don't use that either. We're going to be using Card of Small Miracles, and obviously Queen's Whistle is better, it's more attack, but I will avoid using it because of the various changes in CR push. Can mess with your comp, we're just not going to use it. And then here is Aki. Aki, I have at 209 speed for speed tuning. You're going to want 100 effectiveness for him. Aubade Ludwig's team imprint is effectiveness, so you could do that if you want to make his effectiveness a bit lower, but it doesn't matter too much. His stats don't really matter. You just give him effectiveness. I gave him some bulk, 209 speed, and we're using Sword of Autumn Eclipse because this got buffed. It gives more attack now. And that is it for the general setup and all of the stats. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, so starting off with this auto run, Draconic Seal does enable one interesting thing, like we mentioned, which is that Aki is sealed, so you can actually heal him. Downside is that Elena is sealed, which is pretty bad, because that means that you can't get the S2 heal, no cleanse from that either. It makes the sustain pretty rough, so we'll be relying on gear, plus, you know, like innate bulkiness from stealth, barriers, that sort of thing. Ludwig's S2 is also sealed, which kind of sucks, because you don't get the defense bonus, but we'll live. For the most part, I did tune this, so we have to make sure we get all of our hits in. It's just a lot more convenient in the first phase, so we did tune for that, and we managed to clear it there. And then beyond that, you need to do a bit of precise tuning, because the way the mechanics work is that after you enter the break phase, you want to use all of your non-attack skills before using your AoE. So it goes Aria into Ludwig, we get our non-attack skills out of the way, and now we use our AoE. You see the little counter-attack on the little eggs there. They're going to counter-attack us. You're going to see the stack. The retribution on her maxes out. It goes down if you use non-attack skills, so timing's kind of important. And now it's just set up so that one person goes, Ludwig goes, one person goes, Ludwig goes. Kaboom. The big upside of this rotation is just how fast it is, honestly. The last one was so freakishly long. This one is pretty short because you're kind of forced to attack the boss. So we did have to make Aria really bulky. It's one of the reasons we have Aria in the front, just because she's the one unit that can manage to build bulk the most without really having it affect the rest of her stuff. And then one kind of funny thing is, I did mention this as well, but the EE on Elena, if you have the -1 turn EE, you S3 on that turn, and it is not good. It is really, really bad if you try to S3 there. Okay, so that barrier barely keeps us alive. We use our non-attack skills, and now we S3. And it's just because if you have all the stuff from Elena S3, you can't end up in a situation where you end up buff stacked, and then you pass the buff cap, the buff/debuff cap, and you don't get a chance to actually extend your Dawn. I was kind of confused why it was happening, but... Anyways, this auto, really, really fast, only 3 minutes.